Oh, absolutely. If Jordan Love plays in the regular season the way he has in the 2 preseason games, there's no question about it. Jordan Love right now is super confident. He mechanically is very sound. They are ultra talented on the outside. Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, there's a lot of remnants of Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson when it comes to their game right now. This throw to Romeo Doubs is spectacular. That's 47 to 48 yards right down the field. That is absolutely, 40 to 41 yards right down the field. It's perfect. Jordan Love, he's not just impressing. He's not passing the tests. He's acing them. And this is a football, for me, Christine, everything is about Green Bay's defense. 3 months ago, the questions about Green Bay were, is Jordan Love any good, and is that defense going to be any good? I feel really confident right now, after 2 preseason games, seeing this young talent going, Jordan Love's going to be a good player. I said months ago, if he was average, this was a playoff team. I do not believe he's going to be average. I think he's going to play well above average football. If this defense plays better than this defense has 8 first-rounders on their defense. 8. If your defense got 8 first-rounders, you can't give up. The Green Bay Packers last year gave up something like 26 points a game or something like that. Just an incredibly depressing defense. If they give up or play to the level of their defense, they should be significantly improved on the defense side of the football. Their offense is going to score points. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a top 5 offensive line. Mm-hmm. I think that if you're San Francisco and Philadelphia, you're like, uh-oh, because this Jordan Love kid looks like he could play.
Hold on. Did you just say?
Yeah.
On national television?
Yeah.
If you're San Francisco or Philadelphia, that they need to be concerned?
Absolutely.
Really? That's what you said? Really?
Yeah.
So, based off of a couple of preseason games, that's what we do now?
Yeah.
That's what we do now?
That's all we have to go over.
That's ridiculous. I mean, stop it. Okay, listen, ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. Here's what Dan Orlovsky, I'm going to ignore him for a second because he's just not telling you the truth right now, okay? The Green Bay Packers have a chance to contend because we don't know what the hell the NFC North is going to be. You look at Detroit, yeah, there's expectations, but they haven't been relevant for a long time. Last year, they beat Green Bay to end the regular season. Obviously, Jared Goff had a sensational second half of the season. We threw 15 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in like the last 8 games. There's some hope about the Detroit Lions. Props to them. The Minnesota Vikings, Justin Jefferson is a stud. Kirk Cousins can ball during the regular season, doesn't get anything done in the postseason. But, okay, Minnesota's formidable. We get all of that, okay? All right, we ain't expecting nothing from the Chicago Bears because Justin Fields needs help, all right? That's the only reason we're talking about the Green Bay Packers in terms of Jordan Love. We know what he's surrounded by. The defense should be vastly improved. Like you said, 8 first-round picks starting for you on the defensive side of the ball. I got that. Also familiarity in terms of the offense, Matt LaFleur, who you got Aaron Jones still as your running back, right? You got Watson. You got Romeo. Where Arthur Romeo Doubs, okay? He's there for you, okay? I get it. I understand. But Aaron Rodgers ain't the one throwing them the football, okay? Aaron Rodgers ain't the one running the offense. Aaron Rodgers ain't the one taking the pressure off of somebody like Aaron Jones. You understand what I'm saying?
If Aaron Rodgers was there, he would be my NFC favorite.
There we go. Of course he would. So all I'm saying to you is this. I understand that we can look at Jordan Love and we can say the potential is there.
Sure.
No doubt. But when you sit up there and say, because of the 2 preseason games, this is what they're going to do, stop. Let's look at this schedule here, because I got it in front of me, Dan. I got it in front of me right here, right?
Schedule. They don't play in the AFC.
I said they start off the season. I mean, they lucked up because their first 2 games of the season, they're on the road at Chicago, at Atlanta. Okay,
so
fine.
Should be 2-0.
Should be 2-0. Should be 2-0 because the veterans around them. Okay. Now we got New Orleans. I think that's a loss. Okay. Detroit Thursday Night Football. I think that might be a loss. At Vegas, Jimmy Garoppolo, assuming he ain't hurt by then, who knows what they're going to be able to do. Okay, I mean, that's a pick 'em, all right? Then you got a bye week, you got Denver. Okay, so then I'm looking at Minnesota, the Rams. Pittsburgh, Chargers, Detroit. I say after 10 games, they should be a 500 team, maybe 6-4. 6-4, 5-5. That's what they're going to do, okay? Jordan Love, I understand that he may not be a scrub.
5-5?
Oh, come on, man. Come on now. You just finished talking about they got some stuff to prove defensively, right? And I keep telling you, Watson can ball. Dobbs can ball, but the bottom line is they're relatively young, and now they're going to have a young quarterback throwing them the football who ain't Aaron Rodgers. Let's not forget having to succeed Aaron Rodgers and the pressure that comes with that, because these are the Packers. And they've been, listen, their last two starting quarterbacks over the last 20, 25 years has been Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And now we go on to Jordan Love. All I'm saying to you is we don't know this, so you can sit up there and bloviate all you want to about what your expectations
Who's
are.
bloviating right
over
now?
2 preseason games, that's it? I mean, stop it. The fact is, right now, I'm looking at Green Bay, and I'll say to you, they ain't winning the division. The only only reason I'd have them in second place is because Detroit and Chicago got something to prove, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if they ended up in third place within their own damn division, behind Detroit and behind Minnesota. You go ahead and spin. You go ahead and spin all you want to. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna help you.
What about Minnesota right now tells you that they're a better football team than the Packers?
Say what?
What about Minnesota?
Their quarterback. And I'm not high on Kirk Cousins. I'm not high on Kirk Cousins.
Are we playing singles tennis?
Excuse me. The quarterback is not. Has Dan Orlovsky not educated us by the fact that the quarterback position is the most important position on the football field?
Yes.
Haven't we not heard
it's also
that?
the most dependent.
So what I'm saying to you is, you need that dude behind center. The Jets, who you just finished raving about. What you raving about them for? Because of Aaron Rodgers' arrival.
No.
Hold on. You damn sure wasn't doing that when Zach Wilson was quarterbacking for them.
Yes, Stephen A., they were the 1 seed in the playoffs with like 5 weeks to go.
Excuse me, and they nosedive. Now, that man got hurt. Remember Wilson got hurt. When he got hurt, we might have never seen this in NFL history. The team was damn near celebrating that their quarterback was going to be out. You know I'm telling the truth.
Yes.
You know I'm telling the truth.
Yes.
I mean, they tried to hide it, and even they couldn't hide it.
West. San Francisco's in?
Yes.
Seattle? Are you putting them in?
I'm putting them in.
They're in. Okay, so that's 3 teams right there.
I believe so.
NFC East.
Philly's Dallas and Philadelphia.
Dallas. So that means to tell me that you would not be surprised if Green Bay does not make the playoffs. You would have them as an 8th seed right now.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
So Giants and Green Bay are both out.
No. I'm not saying definitively. I'm saying they got a chance. My point to you is that the quarterback position in Green Bay, it could derail everything. You look at them around across the board, they got a good enough team to get to the playoffs if Jordan Love shows up and he is what you're projecting he'll be.
I think your point of the quarterback position in Green Bay can derail everything is fair. My point on this whole thing is I don't think it can. The offensive line is top 5. The skill players with 2 backs, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, Musgrave, the drafted tight end, and the 2 receivers, if that group stays healthy, I think it's really hard to play poor at the quarterback position with all that given the system. I've said this. In Green Bay, it is not as healthy a place as it was for Jalen last year in Philadelphia, but it's not that far off. So while your point is true and fair, I think it's way more likely that Jordan Love plays really good than it is that he plays poor because of everything that's around him and the growth that he has shown.
I think you're ignoring the specter of the pressure to live up to some semblance of what Aaron Rodgers gave you. I think you're ignoring how that can factor into everything.
The full-time starter was in 2020 with the Texans. That season, he completed 70% of his passes and led the NFL in passing yards. It is worth noting that Houston finished with a 4-12 record that season. Stephen A., are you confident that Deshaun will return to his 2020 form?
I am confident. I believe in the brother personally. I believe he's a big-time talent, but that is not why I wanted to bring up this subject. I want to bring up this subject for a different reason. Yo, Deshaun Watson, what's up, bro? Where you at? This is very important to bring up. We know all the things that he's been through, okay? We get that. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about, Deshaun Watson, if you're listening, and I know Cleveland is listening, okay? We have talked about Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Lamar Jackson, obviously not necessarily in order, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, Aaron Rodgers, even Russell Wilson. That's 9 quarterbacks. I'm sorry, Jimmy Garoppolo. Ladies and gentlemen, the staff was talking to me this morning, and they said, let's piggyback off of the subject of the Baltimore Ravens, and let's go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenny Pickett. That's 11 quarterbacks that I mentioned in the AFC before anybody thought about Deshaun Watson. Where the hell you at, bro? Where you at? Because let me tell you something right now. You don't get to fly under the radar. I believe in Deshaun Watson. I truly, truly do. He was mediocre last year, but damn, you ain't playing in 700 days for crying out loud. You missed the whole 2020-21 season. 2022, you suspended for the first 11 games. I get it. And when you came back being mediocre at with a 3-3 record, I get that too. I understand that. But knowing that you have a full training camp coming up, knowing that you have an opportunity is Amari Cooper, is Peoples, is Peoples Jones, all of these cats that you got Chubb as an elite running back. They better not get hurt with him. He better not get hurt because they don't really have a backup for him, okay? Because Kareem Hunt is gone. I'm saying no one's mentioning Deshaun Watson. And you the dude that got $230 million guaranteed. You the one that has them tried to damn near reset the market with. You the reason that Lamar Jackson held out for as long as he held out until he got his $260 million, although that's not fully guaranteed. You the reason that every time Kyler Murray or Russell Wilson or somebody signed a contract from the quarterback position, the first thing we looked at was the amount of guaranteed dollars. Right. Because we said Deshaun Watson got $230. Now, all I'm saying is, at some point in time, we got to remember all that other stuff aside, that's the personal stuff, and we get that. We already talked about that enough. Strictly about football. At some point, when the hell are we going to start talking about Deshaun Watson and what our expectations for him are this season, considering that $230 million, guaranteed, and nobody is saying anything about him. I mentioned 11 quarterbacks in the conference, not the league, the conference that people have been talking about before Deshaun Watson's name comes up. Yeah. How the hell is that possible? Somebody got to bring that up. So, damn it, I just did.
I think that's well said. I think Deshaun Watson is 28 years old, if I'm correct on that.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident in Deshaun as a player to get back to that 2020 form. So, in 2020, when he was lighting it up, that was Joe Burrow's rookie year.
27.
He's 27 years old. I mean, he realistically has another decade of high-level football if things go health-wise for him. In 2020, I believe that was Joe Burrow's rookie year. I remember being on NFL Live with Marcus and saying the only quarterback that I would take over Joe Burrow that was 25 or younger was Deshaun Watson. I was that big of a fan of his game. I remember having conversations of, well, if Deshaun Watson had what Patrick Mahomes has, he would be doing what Patrick Mahomes is doing. That obviously hasn't happened. I'm confident, yes, because now I got a question for you, Stephen A. Are you confident in regards to, like, he's going to get back playing to the question 2020 form? Are you confident that he's going to vault himself into that conversation of Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert type play?
I'm saying he has to.
Okay.
It's $230 million.
And you think that's I think it's realistic to expect that. The other day, I forget, Harry was like 75%.
Yeah.
Uptick. Like I believe he should be back to that 2024. I mean, that's fair for us. Okay. My concern is this, candidly. One, he looked slow, lethargic, and heavy last year. Yep. So he's got to get back to being a bouncy, sudden, twitchy athlete. Yep. Quincy Avery, his quarterback coach, said he's lost some weight. The second thing, he looked indecisive. He looked like a guy who hadn't played football in a long time.
Exactly.
He's been 32 months since he threw for 300 yards in the NFL.
Right.
That's a long time. Yeah. As talented as he is, as good as Cleveland's roster is, as much as I believe in Kevin Stefanski, their head coach and play caller, 32 months before throwing 300 yards in a game is a long period of time. So, talent-wise, there's no questions asked. It is fair to expect that. I think he does, but he doesn't unless he does and gets back to some of those things. That's my biggest concern. Does that actually come back in his game?
Let me tell you something. I'm going to bring up something else nobody has brought up recently about Deshaun Watson. And I hope he's watching because I want him to remember this. Again, we talking football. Before he missed out on the 2021 season, I believe, right? And all of this stuff happened. He was in a playoff game
on the road
against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
24-0.
Didn't Kansas City score like 40 straight?
Yep.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, because I know that I ain't played football. I just covered it, and I know you played. But last time I checked, when the other team score, don't you get the ball back? Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.